Yes, Amazon, something that you could actually buy and watch them drop
Ooh.
tonight. But yes, you
Oh,
could actually buy. Uh,
Wow.
okay, so Amazon, I mean, yeah, they just announced earnings last week as well. And unlike Facebook, right? They announced earnings post market, it went up 15%. Okay, so you dropped 20,
Nice.
20 something percent.
Yes.
But sadly, nobody ever said if this was the highest ever market cap gain. I don't know if it is. I guess media just likes to report bad news rather than good news. But anyway, moving on. Yeah,
Bad news spreads faster, bro.
Yeah, I know, right. Bad news gets more headlines, and people love to hate on Facebook. Although people should love to hate on Amazon too. But,
Absolutely.
oh well. Yeah. So some headline figures, right? I mean, besides share price, which we really shouldn't care so much about. Business growth, guys. EPS, $27 per share, right? Expected was $3. So huge beat. But like 80% of this was driven by Rivian, which we have talked about the pricing being crazy and all of that. So
Yes.
it's probably not repeatable given the current market climate, right? Then more prosaic things. Net sales, okay, 10% growth year on year. That's pretty much the same as Facebook did, actually, to be honest.
Yep.
But yeah, and 25% over 2 years, which covers the COVID impact. Also kind of about the same as Facebook. So great, but not great. Not too, yeah, I mean good, but not too bad. Not too great. What else was there? They increased the cost of Prime membership to $139 a year instead of $120 in the US. So inflation biting in here, right? And that's about but that's the group itself. I think where I found really interesting, and this is probably why the market reacted that way, right? It's AWS, right? So everybody knows about cloud transition. AWS is the clear market leader in terms of market share, right? Not in terms of tech. I don't know about tech, but market share, clear market leader with Azure and Microsoft, and everybody's moving to cloud. And they are, if you extrapolate their last quarter over a year, right? AWS's annual run rate is 71 billion. Right. So I just want to kind of appreciate that size, right? I mean, 71 billion is a lot of money, right? I mean, when you think about Amazon, you think about logistics, e-commerce and all that, but they have this arm called AWS that makes 70% of what Facebook makes in revenue. So part of Amazon is 70% of Facebook, of the whole Facebook. The whole Meta platforms, right?
Yeah.
And that's
giant
like the fifth or
that they
sixth
are.
largest company in the world. So they're a giant company. They are like twice the size of Oracle in terms of revenue. So it's huge and it's growing. It's growing 40% a year.
AWS or Amazon as a whole?
Yeah, AWS. So Amazon
Wow.
in total grew 10% a year. AWS grew 40.
Wow.
Right? That's like if you are buying Amazon now, you're not buying it for e-com. You're buying it for
AWS.
AWS and the cloud transition. To me, right? That's partially it. Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on this for now?
Yeah, I
Before
think
we go on to the other business,
The other part.
businesses of AWS. of Amazon.
AWS is known to be a market leader, if I'm not mistaken, of the cloud services, right? But
Yep.
and from what I remember, they address about 25% of the segment. Is that right?
I think slightly higher, about 30,
Slightly.
40%.
30%. So that's actually really, really good, right? Given the fact that they're already a market leader and they technically only own 30% or less than half of that amount, that they can still grow by 40%. What is it? Quarter on quarter, year on year? Which one was it? 40%?
Year on year.
Year on year. Okay. Well, quarter on quarter would be insane. Right. So
Yeah.
year on year is insane. So I'm sure they're trying new strategies. They're looking at ways to take this sort of effectively addressable market from Azure and from Google Cloud. Yeah. And I think that's the foundation of how they started even, right? Before they even like scrolled up through Prime and all the rest that they're doing now.
Yeah, actually interestingly, AWS started as an internal tool. So it was Amazon when my e-marketplace is too big, I need a way to host myself properly. And then they came out with AWS, they made it work, and then they started selling AWS. right? So it was a bit like, shared service, and then, oh, okay, it actually makes money. Time to sell it to other people, I guess.
Scale it, package it, make it nice.
Yes. Yes. So they started IaaS, which was great. Azure is eating into their market share, but they're still growing year on year by a lot. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I mean, well, it's evident, right? Like way before this whole earning report, you can see that they actually expand their sales team for AWS. So if you take a look on LinkedIn, like a couple of quarters back, then they really start, expanding a lot, like putting a lot of JDs out there.
Azure also, by the way.
Yeah, for sales team. And also
Azure GCP.
Yep. Yeah. Then you start seeing like data center in new regions and clients having to move faster to cloud in the face of pandemic, right? So it all makes sense that AWS will be one of the leading factor for their earnings last Friday as well. But I think one of the things to think about is that how they're going to capitalize upon this whole their cloud growth, right? Because Google, Microsoft are also big players in this space itself, and while like Google is evidently, one of the major players like the AI space as well. And I use both, the both cloud services, AWS and Google. Yeah,
Google.
Yeah, I personally.
Actually, is there a difference to you?
There is a very huge difference. I think AWS always hangs, and I use it for work quite a bit. Yeah, I don't like it, to be honest. Yeah. But there's days that, when they hang, it's great for me because that's it to work. Yeah. Yeah. But,
I can just sit back, relax.
You can go like, jalan from home, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But stability is a big issue, I think. Like if you read about a little bit here and there about AWS, it's cheap, of course, like compared to like your, Microsoft, your Google, AWS is cheap. It's very, very cheap. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, it just depends on how fast and how well they can scale as well. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I think honestly the AWS results was slightly surprising to me because my thought of it was, AWS is more IaaS, right? Infrastructure as a service. So they just provide you the hosting. And Azure and Google Cloud, they were trying to move more to a PaaS structure. Right, or if, I think there's another something AAS which I forget, but yeah, it's actually platform as a service. They do the hosting for you and they sell you more products on top of that, and that seemed, at least from what I heard, to be something that AWS wasn't very good at. I think partially what has helped them is maybe, and we should get somebody to do a stock recon on this because it's really interesting. It's maybe just that they were the first mover in IaaS and cloud hosting, right? So it's a bit of a network effect, if you have spent a year and millions of dollars transitioning to cloud with AWS, you are not going to switch to Azure next year, right? Yeah. You are going to maybe have a multi-cloud system, but to the extent that you are in the cloud, you will always still have a bit of AWS. So maybe that has helped them there, and if they can, scale properly into PaaS or get more recurring and higher margin revenue from this, that is going to be the way that they push it forward. And they can account for their higher growth and higher margins. So still some risk. They are not the natural winner. Just in case I sound too bullish. There is definitely some risk with AWS. It's just that they have done very well over the past year.
Got it. So I was just going to say, actually, before you gave your big disclaimer of that, so effectively you should tell us all to buy, right?
I mean, I still have. And it's like that, it's so expensive. They should do a stock split, man. 3,000 a share is like...
It's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, it is.
I have like 3-4 shares.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot of money, right? And I mean, who can afford it? Somebody's monthly income is their share price.
Yeah, that's why they should split like 30 times, and then everybody can buy call options on them, and their share price will grow like Tesla.
That's what Google is doing, right? Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Hey, Anthony, why don't you tell us a little bit more about their prime business? Yeah, I think that's a sub base that is healthy, growing, and I think it's interesting to talk about. Yeah.
I think, I mean, subs is really like, the whole in thing about recurring revenue, right? You get people to subscribe. People tend to be lazy, like me. I still have a Prime membership for whatever reason, which I don't use. But I'm just lazy to cancel, and they make it difficult to cancel, and it's sticky and all that. So that's great, and it's really interesting, right? So if you take that $20 and you kind of multiply it by the number of subscribers that they have in the US, you kind of get to like a few billion in additional revenue a year, right? And that's insane. Like it's just pure margin. It goes straight to the bottom line. They haven't done nothing to give you better customer service and all that they wouldn't already have done. It's just a straight price increase that goes from revenue right down to profit. So I think it's a good move, and I mean it's still cheap for what they give in the US. They give you Prime, they give you Hulu, I think. They give you Prime, sorry, the TV subscription. They give you like 2-day delivery, logistics. It's like a no-brainer to have it, right, for $140 a year. So you can hopefully see them treat this as a bit more of like trying to monetize the network that they already have, and also to increase their margins, because e-com is not very good margins. So, and they are investing so heavily in all the other aspects. It's just something that they can do to boost their margins slightly and then make it look a bit better.
Which era are you living in? Which era are you living
Me?
in? Yeah. Because like they do instant like 2 hours delivery as well. Same day delivery. Not just 2 days anymore.
No, I think they cancelled that for parts of the US.
Yeah, but I mean like even in Singapore they do have like 2 hours delivery.
Yeah, in Singapore.
Yeah.
No, my Amazon card takes like a day.
Oh no.
Like
Whoa.
PandaMart gives me 2 hours. my Amazon Singapore gives me like a day, and then if I ship from US it's like 2 to 3 days.
I see.
Wow. Okay.
But
No,
it's still
so
great. I don't mind waiting 2 days.
so like Singapore. I mean, yeah, for us here, what's it? $2.99, I think, to subscribe. So that's
Yeah, so I
really
forget to
really
cancel.
cheap. That's
Yeah.
per month, and you don't only get the e-commerce. You get of course you got the Prime for 2-hour delivery. You also get Prime Video, right? Which, in all fairness, I think they can do a bit more there. They'll be trying to do a bit more there as well with MGM Grand and stuff. But I think it's an area that they are looking to improve on, right? Is that right, Anthony? Because they are looking at investing in this area and try and compete with Netflix and Apple Plus and stuff.
I don't know, right? I think of Amazon and TV, I just think of failures. in the sense that they had the TV stake that failed, the Amazon Fire that failed. They just aren't good at this, and they don't seem to be investing that much in terms of programming compared to your Netflix, your Disney. They're just burning money and throwing money at new content, right? Amazon just goes, oh, I have Jack Ryan, which I guess is quite nice. And
Actually-
I have
Actually, on that
I
front,
don't know.
yeah, like in they're not very big in the Western side, but I know they're massive in India. So all the like Indian movies, Bollywood, Hollywood, it's massive. Everyone in India has Amazon Prime because the movies go out there first over
that
everything else.
explains the recommendations they give to me.
Right.
like Amazon Prime, and it's like I scroll after a few days, like, oh, Indian shows, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I don't watch it. so yeah, okay, I guess that explains it. But
Yeah,
maybe
they're massive.
you could be right. It's just a difference in geographic focus. Right? They do a bit in the US, which we tend to consume more of the media of, and they could have all these continental big sublocations that we are not that aware of because we just don't see, unless you're Rakesh to tell you.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
man,
see.
it's actually quite insane.
Actually, I see this whole Amazon TV thing, like Prime, right, in a different angle. Like how when you subscribe Prime, in some sense, you get the whole fast delivery. You have the whole slew of other services as well, and like this whole TV thing just adds on to like just incentivize you to just come on board. The cost is so low for them. If anything, if you buy the show, it's just one-off cost. Stream it, no matter how many times people watch it, Bollywood show or whatever trashy shows they have on board, right? Whether or not you watch it, it's just one cost to them. It doesn't really matter. But when there's a good show,
Yeah, and their hosting is free cost for AWS.
exactly. So if there's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah. So if you have a show that's good, then you get more people that come on board. Happy days for them. If there's nothing, then people are just subscribing because it's free in that sense. I'm just there for the other services. So I think it's kind of smart.
Yeah.
It's a form of incentive. Yeah.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. They are trying to buy MGM for like 9 billion or something, which is
I thought
guess
they bought
small
already.
potatoes compared.
Yeah.
Haven't closed yet.
I haven't closed. Okay.
So it's antitrust and all those like regulatory filings that are still being done, I think.
Got it.
So sign never close. Yeah. but yeah, maybe that's the next big push, right, for their content, and because of that they get more Prime subscribers at a higher price, and ta-da, you get more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I think it's going to be interesting to see the play that they make in 2022, 2023 in this regard, the e-commerce and the video aspect. I don't know if this is their focus. Obviously, as we've mentioned, AWS is scaling like crazy. I think if you're in sales and you haven't, I got reached out by AWS as well. Like they're really just hiring everyone all over the world is what I can see. So it's quite intense. I'm excited to see where Amazon is going to go.